Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Horst Lüning, and this is my son Ben. And today we're tasting the Glenmorangie Bacalta. Bacalta, whatever. It's Gaelic, and it means baked. So, a baked Glenmorangie.
And I think this is a fairly recent release, and it's probably not out on the market when you see the video. It's a nice package that we got here. It's a sampling package for us as reviewers. And here you have the bottle. It's 46% ABV, that's 92 proof for all you Americans. It's not chill filtered, it's matured in bourbon cask and then finished in Madeira casks. And this Madeira cask finish is kind of the specialty about the bottle.
Yeah, Madeira is so much better than beer. Madeira is a wine from the Portuguese island of Madeira.
Yeah. I've written an article about Madeira wine finishes on Whisky.com. Just go on Whisky.com, find in production, background knowledge, types of whiskey cask, and then you find the Madeira casks. Let me tell you the basic story behind Madeira. Madeira was a fortified wine, where you make a wine and then you put in grape spirit, and then you have the fortified wine that just stays longer, better for the voyages on the sea. And during these sea voyages, the casks were always exposed to the sun, and then they got hot, and there was a kind of a after fermentation process. Oxidization process. And the Portuguese government, or maybe the EU government now, has some legislation for that. If you want to call your...
For what not?
Yeah, they always got a legislation. They have a legislation for what you are allowed to call Madeira wine. And you're allowed to call it Madeira wine when after the fermentation you have a process of oxidizing it for at least 90 days at least 55 degrees Celsius. I don't know how many Fahrenheit that is, but it's, I don't know, double room temperature.
140.
140, yeah, something like that. So, and that should represent what they did on the sea voyages to get a similar taste.
Yeah, I visited the island of Madeira some 20 years ago, I think. And there I visited the bodega of Enrique, and they took me up into the mountains, and there was this fermentation room where they had huge stainless steel tanks. They were insulated for keeping the temperature, and this outside was a thermometer, and they showed 70 degrees centigrade on it. And they were going for a long time, heating the Madeira up. And you could see a lot of casks from different distilleries up there in the mountains. So they rented the casks out, and that's exactly what Glenmorangie did in this case. Mm-hmm. Glenmorangie was one of the very, very first distilleries, if not the first, which started with a finishing process. And in the very beginning, there was this port wine finish from Glenmorangie, and later on they started with a sherry cask finish. This wasn't that popular compared to the port wine finish. And later on, they added a Burgundy and a Madeira finish. And the Madeira casks were available. Nobody did a Madeira finish then, so they switched over and used the Madeira casks, and people liked it, but not too much. So the Madeira finish vanished from the market some 10 years ago, something like that. And today we see this Bacalta again on the market as a limited edition from the private edition series, and this one I think is the 8th of the private edition. And unfortunately, this Bacalta does not carry an age statement any longer. The whiskies before, only very few from the private edition carried age statements. So I'm afraid this is nothing particular old, but it's particularly rare. because the Madeira casks are not that popular.
And here it says it's blooming with sunny sweetness. And if we look at the process with the oxidization, we look at a lot of fruitiness and oxidized fruits. And when you look at the grapes they took, the Malmsey grape, that's a very particular sweet grape. So from that kind of particular spirit, fortified wine, we're looking also at a very sweet influence on the Glenmorangie spirit that is actually more on the Glenmorangie is more on the lighter, sweeter side because of the tall pot stills.
Yeah. It has been created from Glenmorangie, matured in former bourbon casks. I think that's the standard maturation of Glenmorangie. And then extra matured in bespoke casks, baked under the sun, that were once filled with Malmsey Madeira, the sweetest and most prized of all Madeira wines. All this pricing. Yeah, I think that.
Wait, did they say the Malmsey is the best Madeira wine? Madeira wine is almost exclusively made from this grape.
And I think when I visited Madeira, there were only just two bodegas, Enrique and Enrique.
Okay.
And the big other one, I forgot the name. The Enrique is the smaller one, and this might be from the bigger one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is there is an embargo on this press release up to January 31st. So I think this will be a global release date for this Bacalta.
I think it will be shown. We show it on the 1st of February probably.
Yeah.
So when you see this, you should be on the 1st of February. Sweet.
And this is the second time I'm sniffing at the whiskey, and there's some vanilla.
I got honey now.
Honey?
I didn't have the honey before.
Yeah.
But still, it's. I think you got a lot of oxidized stuff in there. Bit of a. What do you call that stuff? It's made of honey and it's alcoholic.
Made.
I don't know how you say it in English though.
Made.
Is it made?
Yes.
Made as well. Okay.
So it's a honey together with water, and then you ferment it, and the sugar in the honey.
It's a German stuff.
No, Nordic.
Nordic. Oh.
Nordic.
I thought we were Nordic.
No, we're quite in the south. Yeah. Okay. It's hitting the tongue, really.
Oh, it's intense.
Yeah, it's white pepper.
It's when you have it in your mouth, it starts like a regular sweet sherry one with a lot of fruit, but when you swallow, pepper,
yeah. And the aftertaste is darker and sweeter, so it's dates and probably figs. The honey, the mate is there.
Yeah, definitely. Now I got the oranges as well, but in the end I got more bit of a bitter orange, like orange peel.
Yeah. And here they said it's a intriguing mineral notes. No idea what mineral notes are.
As you said, a bit of stone. Stone doesn't taste. It's an interesting roller coaster of taste. First, you take it in your mouth. You have a bit of a shock. It's 46% ABV, 92 proof. So it's strong, intense, with a lot of sweetness and a lot of fruits. And you swallow, a bit of a spiciness, and in the end, you get a bit of a orange peel and
a little dryness, yes. But the bitterness is very faint. It's more a little cooling. It's like a mint or eucalyptus.
Yeah, it's a different bitterness when you talk about cacao bitterness. It's not like that, but more of an orange taste, like a citric taste. So it's a fruity bitterness.
Yes.
I don't know how to explain this, but so subtle.
The price of this whiskey there's a suggested retail price of about 85 euros, so it should be comparable in pounds, in dollars, and depends very much on the amount of bottles your local dealer will have. So the less, it's a limited release, you should head out for this bottle. If you're collecting these private editions, and you should hurry up. But in the past, it has shown that there are more bottles on the market than one think. So that is not that shortly only available. So they're typically they come out with a short amount, then there's more delivered afterwards, and how intense the demand in the market is, the higher prices raise. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't say how many bottles they bottle worldwide. Usually they say 5,000 bottles worldwide, which would be compact size. If you look at a bigger size, let's say 18,000, that's a more readily available. So we don't know how much this is this time.
In the past, we've seen 50 to 70,000.
Yeah, that's
bottles
even more.
With these no age statement private editions. So I would suggest at least 50,000.
You'd say at least 50,000. So it should be broadly available.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how spicy it is. It's still, the dominant flavor is fruitiness and sweet, but still you got a good balance with spiciness.
Yes, and the aftertaste, the spiciness carries on.
Yeah, the spiciness in the aftertaste, definitely. Okay, yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you found this video interesting and your friends who might be interested in this video as well, then please forward this video to your friends, and thank you very much for watching.